how many of you have ever been in love? And don't be shy. You can, and don't lie. You can go ahead and raise your hand. And
Love?
what? You what?
Heart was broken.
But you were in love. That doesn't change the fact that you have felt something, right? So I'll raise my hands too, because who hasn't, especially at our age, been there before? And love is that special force that actually grows us to life and that moves everything we do, and that's currently moving the world. When I say that, it's not only moving entrepreneurs, but also businesses and people who are succeeding in life. As Steve Jobs used to say, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. So I'm here today to talk about the 4C's of a doer by nature and how love can actually change your life. You might be wondering, what is a doer? Or some of you are familiar with the term. Who has a clue of what it means?
Anybody that does things?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Doer is someone who gets actively involved in something rather than just talking or thinking about it. In other words, it's someone who takes a step ahead and takes action. The first C that makes a true doer by nature is connection. And how is this possible? Well, we are all connected in this world, and this is being proven by physics quantum. It's not something that I want to be romantic and just put out there for you. You can actually go ahead and do a little bit of research, or if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll be talking about it later on, and you'll get more information, and I'll be also sharing videos there where you can get more details about how it works. But we're actually all connected, and everything starts when you start digging deep within you. And when I say you, it's you as a person, but then I'm going to show you how this is also going to affect the way you conduct businesses and the way you can be successful, whether at your own company or for a company that you're currently working at. So when you take the time, because this requires some exercise, you are smart people, and I'm sure by now, that nothing truly valuable in life happens overnight. You need to do the work, and you need to take some time to start digging inside you and realizing what is it that sets you apart, what is it that makes you different from the rest. You need to think, what are your core values? And this is something that you can start. This is something that you can start doing by making a list, right? And then you can take a moment, you can meditate, you can do yoga, you can exercise, whatever you prefer. But it's important that you start by making this question of what is it that you do greater than anybody else, because we're all different. And we were all born with gifts that are not the same. And we might have some gifts in common, talents, but then the way we'll explode those, it's going to be different. And then how this relates to business nowadays? Well, every business has to have a purpose. It used to be only money before, right? Money used to be the sole purpose of companies. And what happened to those companies? They wouldn't last. So the ones that have lasted long, the ones that have transcended, are the ones that actually serve a life purpose, are the ones that actually see a common purpose and that are doing something greater, not only to satisfy a personal need, but the need of those out there and the generations upcoming. So once you identify what is it that makes you different and how you can serve others, then you're going to be able to create identity. And then everything that you do along your business will be current, and it's going to be aligned to this identity that it's going to allow you to develop sustainable competitive advantages. So once you do this work, this exercise, then you're going to be able to see further, and then you're going to be able to have a vision, which is a long time horizon, and then you're going to be able to set up your mission, which is where you are going to specify your goals, your scope of operations, and how you are going to create sustainable competitive advantages. Then after that, you're going to be able to create strategic objectives, which are, and I'm sure you're familiar with the term because you're in a business class, SMART objectives, right? And this is going to be your short time horizon. Then once you are able to put together ideas and processes that allow you, company, and you as a person to connect with humans who work for other companies and who are going to turn into customers, then you're going to be creating an effective strategic management system. So you need to speak from the heart because we're humans and we cannot sell anything that doesn't really come from us because it's going to others that are alike to us. So, and with this, then that's the only way that you will assure that your company is going to transcend within time. And we can see some examples here. When we look at what is Google doing, what is Walt Disney doing, Facebook, Netflix, they definitely have core values that are serving a common purpose. Of course, they also have long-term focus. They're not only thinking about having sales this month, this year, and in 10 years. They're actually looking much farther. They're looking at selling to your son and the son of your son, and so on. And then, of course, they also have emotional engagement, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in a few slides after, and innovation. Then you may wonder what's the second thing that makes a true doer by nature, and that is collaboration. Because once you have established a core identity, core values, then you can't play by yourself. You need a team. You need a team that rocks. And when I say that, I'm saying you need to trust people. You need to bring up to your team talented people. And that's if you are an entrepreneur, but also if you're working at a company. See what Google is doing, for example. They're creating an atmosphere where people really want to work and people really feel they belong there. So you need to rely on relationships. And human capital, it's actually, I will say from my experience, and I'm not going only by what I've seen in the books, but what's happening out there right now. When you value human capital and you have people talented who feel connected to your company, they become your best ambassadors. And then you have a foundation of intellectual capital that it's very difficult to duplicate out there. So your competitor might get the same program, the same system that you have. They can go get a SAP or SaaS software, have it running within a few weeks, but they cannot copy the talent and the results of the team that you have. What they're producing for you is something very, very difficult to duplicate. So, and there are so many ways. I mean, nowadays technology, it's allow us to go beyond. And then we can actually have people collaborating with us from other countries, which, yeah, it may be challenging sometimes, but at the same time, it's super rich. The products that you can get having people combining minds, great minds from different places with different perspectives, then you can have a much bigger picture and much better products and services to offer. And that's also something that would allow you to differentiate. That's another competitive advantage. And you can do this, You can hire consulting firms, you can outsource, you can use websites like Fiverr or freelancers.com and so on, just to get people to join your team from different places. And I would like to talk to you about one successful business who is actually known for doing this. It's Southwest Airlines. When they started, the founder, the CEO, he was called crazy. People thought like, okay, what this guy is doing, it's not going to take the business anywhere. What was he doing? He was treating employees as a family, and he will open the doors of his office to his employees to listen to what they had to say. And if somebody wanted to complain about something that was not working, or if somebody had a question, or if somebody just wanted to bring new ideas, he will take the time to listen. And that has made a huge difference. That actually revolutionized the way business is done in the airline industry. So he even changed the way human resources work. His department was very particular in the system that they implemented to hire people. He hired people from the field. He was involved with employees, and he didn't have this so strict system, vertical system, where you have ceilings and it's very bureaucratic. And in order for someone to talk to top level management, they have to go through a process that can take days just to get a quick answer or something that might actually be hurting your business if it's not taken care on time. And then, of course, they have fun together, and we know what Southwest Airlines is still doing and why, they're still different from the rest. Then the third C, it's co-creation, because now you got to the point where you need to go bigger, you need to grow, you need to expand. And how are you going to do this? You need to diversify your portfolio. You need to go to other countries, explore other markets, because there are so much opportunity right now, and we do have the tools. I mean, our generation is so lucky in having so much. The only thing what we need to take charge on is to utilize those tools the best way possible. And in this case, when you start cooperating with others that do business, that you might call them competitors, but people misunderstand what a competitor is. Competitor, yeah, you need to be aware, because they also teach you about what's going on in the market. You have to always monitor what they're doing, not to copy, of course, but to understand, to have more insights about your customers. But at the same time, if you are a little bit smarter, you can just take the time and see, okay, so what are their strengths? What are they doing better than me? What are those customers that they're approaching right now that I do not have? What about we just join efforts? What about we just work together? That way, and I'm sorry, I need to take a little bit of water. So that way you can create a much bigger impact, because it's like, I'm going to talk to you about my experience. I work in the professional service industry, right? With a lot of consultants, coaches, and what we basically do is that we collaborate, because I might have a pretty strong background professionally and as a person, but nobody's perfect, right? So I have my weaknesses as well. So do my competitors. So what we've done is, if I have somebody who has more knowledge and more experience and more expertise in the fitness industry, for example, then what about we get together and we do activities that make us both grow together and go further, get to a bigger market. Then here, networking is very important. You need to make sure that you partner with the public, that is people in the government, having contacts, it's always a door for you to step in, and also in the social sector, and of course in the business sector. And I'm not talking about marrying them for life. I'm talking about working with them in a specific project. It's not like you need to sign up a contract for years and then you get stuck and you don't know how to. Things have evolved. Things have changed so much, and they're going to keep on changing every day. So you just need to take a step out, look at what's going on in your business from outside, what others are doing, and see the opportunities with where most of the people are actually seeing problems. And then, of course, if you have a little, more money, and then, or you're just thinking about staying more permanently in a place, then you can always do acquisitions and merge. But in my case, what we've done is we do courses together, we do conferences together, we do. If I'm selling a package, right, and my expertise is mainly business and communication, then I bring to the gate my competitor who's a coach or a consultant in the fitness industry, for example. And then what I do is I use some of his plans, of his packages to sell them along with mine. And then I just maybe give them as a bonus. And then he might just do the same, right? And what is that giving me? It's giving more to my clients because they're getting a wider tools, more information, but at the same time, it's exposing my business and the quality in what I do to others, because he is also selling my products either as a bonus, or when we work together, we do webinars together, we work on conferences together, we do videos together, we interview each other. So that's giving a lot more to our public, but at the same time, it's helping us to grow all together. And finally, I want to talk about co-creation, because what all this is ultimately doing is helping you to stand out. And when I say you, of course, it's you as a person or as a professional. And that's when we create magnetic brands. If you go out there and you are able to talk, and you can do the test tonight when you leave out the class. You can go and talk to someone who's in your maybe your family or friends, and if you open up the doors of who you truly are, and you let them see your talents, I assure you they're gonna fall for it. Same as you fall in love before. Because this is what it's actually creating emotional connection. And this is what companies like Coca-Cola has always done. It's not about the soda, which actually is really bad for our health, right? And what are they selling? Happiness, right? When you think about Coca-Cola, you don't think about something that's actually harmful to you. You think as something cool. So, because they're making sure they touch the emotions within you. And it's the same that Donald Trump is doing. I don't say good or bad. It's up to everyone to have their own opinion. But basically, that's how it works. And that's how politics work. So right now, because of technology, if we use that technology to along with the content, the emotional content that we create, that's when we see that we have engagement. And that's why communities are going so big in social media, because people love to talk, and they like, and they share, and they comment, because we're humans. So when you talk, that's a basic principle of communication. In order for communication to happen, you need to have someone who transmits a message and someone who receives it, and then to give feedback. So then you complete the circle. That's how it flows. The problem is that before, we kind of got stuck in the middle, and we missed that part where we received engagements. Now, because of technology, we're able to do so. So open up your eyes and see exactly what's around you. Don't miss the 360 view of your customers and the market. And always segment by demographics, by psychographics. Take the time, because I've seen this a lot, and this is actually one of the things that I help my clients the most with, because they have no idea about what competitors are. They don't have a clear picture, an avatar of their clients. They think their clients are looking for something, when we do a market research and when we analyze them and study what is it that their behavior, what are their interests, then we realize that it's something else, and then, oh, that's why it was not working. Of course, you were sending the wrong message, the wrong way, to the wrong people. So how is that going to work? But companies that are actually doing the work are, for example, Harley Davidson, right? They are connecting with us through freedom. They don't sell the motorcycle itself. They sell that sense that makes you feel that you can get anywhere if you ride that motorcycle. Then we also have Oprah. She is one of the most popular and richest woman, self-made woman in the United States. And what is she selling? She's selling you the option of having hope and empowerment and possibilities. And she's doing a great job because she's connecting with people. And you may think, oh, that's something who anyone can do. Not really. It takes the 3 previous C that I mentioned to get there. And then also you have Zappos. It's a comparison like with Coca-Cola, right? They don't sell the shoes. If you watch any of the commercials, they never talk about shoes. They talk about the wow factor that you have, that experience that you have when you receive the products. So tonight, before you leave, before I leave, I'll be leaving earlier than you. I want to invite you to take a moment and think about what is it that sets you apart, so you can reconnect with yourself, and then start picturing yourself ahead and see who you can collaborate with, how you can, once you have a business, if you're looking from here to 5 years, so set up a time, a plan, an action plan from here to 1 year. So who do you see yourself working with? Who are you going to be collaborating, cooperating with, and in pro of what? And then I assure you, you'll be creating magnetic brands. If you really do the work and you speak from your heart as a human, you can make the difference. And we are all here with tons of potential, and it's a waste not to explode it. So be smart and take action. So let the real Doer that you are, that's laying within you, be alive. Thank you very much.
Who were some of your mentors?
My mentors? That's interesting. Because since I was a child, I was involved in so many activities and exposed to a lot of information educationally and also extracurricular activities. So I kind of started getting things from here and there, and then I put it all together. I don't have an actual mentor. I just be learning from life and from the academic system, but also from my own experiences. I think traveling, it's a great thing to do. When you are able to taste and I know it sounds simple, but believe me, it has an effect in your mind that it helps to open up much more and to understand and have empathy for others. When you are able to try the food that it's actually special, traditional for others, and when you're able to talk to someone who can be 90 years old, or also same as you can talk to a little kid, or same as you can talk to the security guard and to the CEO of the company. I know sometimes it takes courage because we put ourselves in boxes that limitate us, and we might not have the confidence sometimes to approach people. But I think when you build within you that you are just another human being, same as they are. So a title doesn't really make much difference. And I think I have always had that. Like I had always shared with people from different ages, different backgrounds, and that had opened up my mind a lot. But I always had that within me that I wanted to do more, and I just absorbed as much as I could from everything I've been exposed, and then that led me to what I'm doing now. Yes.
Coming from a different background and everything, what would you say to us, for example, Hispanics and Latinos we recently moved here and are planning to acquire a professional career? What would you say are your challenges you have overcome through the process?
Yeah, I was born in Venezuela and I spent 23 years there. I feel what you're saying right now because I was there. However, my approach and my experience was totally different. And that's something that I ponder about a lot when I share it with my friends who also moved on here. Because what was key for me not to suffer and to actually enjoy the ride and take the best out of it was being able to adapt. And for that, you need to have your mind and your heart open. Then if you're here thinking about everything that you just left behind, then you're not gonna be there nor here, right? You're gonna be in the limbo, and that's gonna take you to a hole that's dark, and you don't wanna be there if you wanna be successful in life. So you just need to turn the switch. If you have decided, we always need to be responsible for what we decide, right? So if you had already made a decision to be here tonight, you take the responsibility that implies. And if you decided to come here either to study, to work, to look for new opportunities, whatever it's been your case, then put your mind, be present, absolutely present, 100% here, and do not worry about the rest, because that will only get you sick. And I tell you that because like the first month, of course, it's a little bit shocking, and I was still watching news because I was a journalist in Venezuela and I was involved in politics. So it runs in my veins, and I didn't want to disconnect that easily. But then I said, okay, so where is this taking me? I'm not doing anything for my country, and I'm not doing anything for this that now it's my home. So adapt, open your mind, pass the switch. You're here, focus on where you are, project yourself, that long-term vision, and don't lose sight of it. And you're gonna have trees in the middle of the road, but at the end, if you stop the car just to look at each tree, then time is gonna pass by, and you will never get to the end where you want to go. And then you're gonna be frustrated, and then your family and everything else around you is gonna fall apart. Yes.
Yeah, what would you say has been one of your most difficult challenges during your professional career?
Mm-hmm. Okay, as an entrepreneur, right? Because that's what I am right now. Or you want me to talk about
Yes.
more like that? Okay. Because it's much easier when you work for somebody else, and then you just have to make sure you get there at 9, and then you leave at 5, and then you have goals, you meet them, goodbye. When as an entrepreneur, money at the beginning, you need to plan very well your finances, because money goes away like this. You need to have a plan about the resources and the people you want to work with. You can't do anything by yourself. I mean, there is no way. That's why 2 of the C's relate to working with people, collaboration and cooperation. So I found in technology a solution, the freelancers, but that was also a challenge in a sense, because sometimes you deal with people that are in different time zones, different mindsets, which at the end you just need to take the time to see exactly what is it that they're good at because of their culture. what are their strengths, because they cannot be the same strengths that you have. Luckily not, because then you're not gonna have a bigger muscle. And once you determine what are their strengths, then you need to see how you're going to assemble the teams. And it took me a while, because at the beginning I will get a little bit stressed out about, okay, they're not really getting, where we're going, so I have to be very didactic. But then I think I have a good team, and it was because I took the time to sit and see what were their strengths, so I could actually leverage on that and not force them to do something that maybe they were not really good at or they didn't feel passion about. So that's why valuing human capital is so important. And you need to set a culture since the beginning. And that's something that I did. I created a video before I hired the first person, and I didn't have anything up yet, but I had the vision, and I'm a fan of vision boards. So what I did is I put it in the video, I show it to them, and I said, okay, so this is where I am right now, and I need your help because this is where we are all together gonna get to help these people. So if you feel this is something that you connect with, because that's important. Maybe it's something that's not really of their interest. Even when the pay is good, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for people who will actually feel connected to the product and the services that I was developing. So watch out your finances and value human capital. Yes. Ladies first, I guess. No?
Sure.
Thank you.
An entry level job, then getting our first impression out there.
Yes. I will recapitulate on the 4C's. Take the time to reconnect with yourself, because that's going to help you understand where you are, where you here, what have you done good, what have you done bad, so you know what strengths you can actually count on and what weaknesses you need to overcome. Then it's also going to help you to set up a plan. I mean, planning is super important. I'm a very spontaneous person, and before, when I was younger, I'm still younger, but when younger, I thought that, I just want to go with the flow, and I just want to enjoy life as it comes. And that's good, but everything in life needs to be balanced. You can never go to extreme. When you go to extreme, you need the rest and you lose. So set up a plan, do the exercise to reconnect with yourself, do a SWOT analysis. That's super helpful. And I know they do it for business and not for a person, but I did it as a person, and it helped me a lot. You can ask people around you, friends, because one thing is how you perceive yourself and how do you think you're doing things, and something else is what they're actually receiving, what they're seeing, how they're taking it. So I will suggest to do that. Then set up your plan. Once you set up your plan, that's going to tell you, okay, you might not want to be an entrepreneur. You just maybe want to work for a big company. You know how many big companies are out there? A lot. Not only in the U.S., but worldwide. And if you're here, it's because you have some talent. So do a match. Prospect, make a list of prospect companies. And also compare that to the work that you've done about your strengths and your weaknesses. Read about their culture, because a lot of the big companies are putting effort in that. And that's really important, that you feel comfortable enough at your workplace. So then do a match, and then from there, take your top 10 or less. Because I think the more that you diversify your attention, the more you lose. If you pick a top 3, then you're going to put all your energy in that, and then focus 50% on your option number 1. And then the other 50 divided into the other 2, and get involved. See what are they doing on LinkedIn, groups. There is so much ways nowadays to put a step ahead, to knock at the doors and have them being open. So that, and then once you're there, don't forget that working in teams will always take you farther. And And that's the way you'll be co-creating the life that you want. Yes, I am, sorry.
It's okay. You had mentioned a bit about doing what you love and being in love with what you do and for the success. You can find a lot of examples, especially nowadays. When it's so easy to get access to tools that can start your own business. A lot of people they operate completely under that belief that they should do what they love, and they kind of get tunnel vision, and then they become hyper focused on their idea rather than the success of their business. And that can also lead to trappings of people overlooking the failures and weaknesses in their business and their operations because they're just so in love with their idea, even if their idea is never really going to go anywhere. So I'm saying, what would you say is a key difference between a true successful entrepreneur and a wantrepreneur?
Failure is part of success, right? Success is that what you reach at the end is that space. It's not really about money all the time. Even when if you are a successful person, it will come with it. But it's that moment in your life where everything is working. It's that peaceful moment where your family, everything around you, it's just working fine. And if you have an idea that you're truly passionate about and that you have fallen in love with, believe me, you will make it happen one day. How long is it gonna take? Everybody's different because you might have a great idea. It's just that what you just started doing right now, it's going against that unconsciously, right? Or maybe you don't have all the tools, and maybe you're focusing on just one part of the business and you are overlooking at the rest. I'll recommend the Walt Disney movie. It's really good. I mean, Walt Disney, he was actually on the streets. He didn't have any money, but this, it's a pattern that you see that happens with so many successful people. Being successful doesn't mean that they never failed. Oh, they did. And that's actually what put them to test. Because when you don't have money to bring to your house, when you're not secure about paying the place where you live, or even having something to eat, then that's when you are tested to either give up or to make the difference. And that's when the miracles will happen. So don't see successful, being successful as just reaching the top. It's actually the whole journey. And it has ups and downs, like everything in life. And even when you are up here, you will face situations that will still put you to test. Not to the limit at the beginning, because that's usually, and that's why I love quantum physics, because that's usually when everything either breaks or continue. And in that moment where you are put to the extreme. So don't be afraid to fail. Actually, that will give you lessons that nobody can take from you later. And then later you will actually somehow still apply to any challenges that will come on your way. I don't know if that answers your question.
Sort of. I think maybe I might have to rephrase it, but I was more referring to the fact that when an idea, no matter how you're attached to it, is a proven failure of an idea. If it's just not something that's going to be successful, it's not something that's going to make money. When is it the right time? When is it a healthy time to accept that the idea, no matter how passionate you are about it, is just doomed to fail, and it's time to move on to another project?
If an idea is coming from your heart, believe me, there is no way it will keep on failing. Maybe the approach you're having to that idea, that's where it's failing. Maybe you're using the wrong tools. Maybe you're not getting the right people on board to help you. But the idea itself, the core of that idea, because you also need to be careful. Are you trying to be stubborn with the way that you want things done? Or are you truly trying to make it happen, something that comes from the core, the essence of it, right? So it's not really how it's going to be shown. Maybe I don't know, you have a mindset that it's aligned with finance, and then you're missing the marketing part of it, which is nowadays super important. And then you keep on saying, because the numbers, if we do this plan, if we forecast this way, then it's going to happen this way. Yeah, but you're stuck in a box that is close to the rest of the picture. So I truly say, like, when it's an idea that comes from within you, it will never fail. What's failing is the approach that you have to it, the way that you are trying to make it happen. Then that you need to redefine, yes. So go out there, ask people, because if you're creating something, if you're creating a product or a service, it's because you're pretending to sell it to someone, right? Even if you want to change people's lives, how are you gonna change? How are you gonna help them to, drink healthier water if they don't buy it? Then you need to approach them, get the insight. What will you think? Ask smart questions. So, and get those insights from there. And then maybe they can give you a clue, because, as I said, you are looking at the picture from here. But what about, why is it not working? Because people are not buying it. So, okay, you are not buying it? Let me talk to you. What is it that you want? How do you want it? What about if I change the color from blue to green? Would you buy it more? Do a test. With technology, you can always do that A/B test so easily on social media, and that's, I think, a good approach, because I'm almost sure that's where your problem is going to be. You are not going the right way. You want to go north, but maybe you haven't realized that you start to drive it like this, or you start to drive it south. But you still want to go north, because that's your core, that's the passion, that the idea, the core of your idea. So get help. And that's why I also think that professional industry with coaches and all that, it's growing so much. Because as you mentioned a very good point, we have tons of information. So how do we digest that, right? Because you start watching a YouTube video here, you want to save money because you're starting your own business and then you need money to invest. But that's part of the investment sometimes you need to make. Is it theater now? Or?
I like it a lot.
No, and it's true. I mean, I know, and maybe it's something that's happening to you right now. I say never give up on something that you feel. And when you just ask a little question, when do you know it's time to let it go? When you can let go situations, you can let go people in life, but you cannot let go your dreams, and you cannot let go that passion within you. Just because it's not working right now, but as I said, it might not be the idea. It might be the way you are trying to put it in place. Otherwise, look at Michael Jordan, all the great people, that have made an impact in the world. Do you think that they sat one day and they said, okay, they told me I'm not good to create movies, so they told me that I'm not good at basketball. I'm going to give up. I'm going to go home. Cool. Then somebody else is going to come and do a good job as you were supposed to. And now you're out of the game. So if you truly want to be out of the game, yeah, give up. But if not, keep on looking for ways, tools, learn to improve yourself and go farther and get what you want.
Good enough.
Anybody else? Yes.
Like, you know who Jack Ma is, creator Alibaba? You know he puts customers first, and he does a complete opposite of Americans. They put stakeholders first. How do you feel like what he says about your investors, forget about? Because there's always people that.
Well, I'm sure he said that at the beginning when he was working at home, right? Because that's how he started.
Of course, no, but he always said, forget the investors, people will always invest, but take care of your customers and then your employees.
Right, because that has to do with what we've been talking about tonight, connecting with people. And when I say connecting with people, I always mention out there the people we're talking to, the people who are buying to, the people we're going to serve, which are the people that are going to buy our products and our services. Then, of course, we'll get to the point where we need to grow, and then we need to we need more money, right, to diversify even more. We can do it. We can bring on board more stakeholders, yes, but that cannot be our priority. I agree 100% with it, because then if I'm gonna pay attention, if I'm selling part of my shares, the shares of my company, and then I'm going to pay attention to what A, B, C, and D says, and it's difficult for people to agree on something, right? And you have that in your house, with your friends, with your family. It's difficult to convey an idea. First of all, this idea is yours. You are the one who's holding it from the core. So nobody, doesn't matter how well you explain it to somebody else, they will never connect to it 100%. So if I'm going to listen to what A, B, C, and D have to say, I'm gonna break that cord, and I'm gonna start putting in my head things that are gonna deviate what I'm doing. And if my purpose is to serve others, right? Because we said common purpose, it's where it's actually making institutions enduring time, being sustainable with competitive advantage. So why are you gonna put A, B, C, and D before what's coming from you and the people that you're serving to? No, they can go, because they can go. You don't really need them, because if you are thinking about others, then you will find ways to diversify and more money and more money. I can go one night and talk to you about how many ways you have to monetize and make something profitable. So there are, you see, like Oprah, for example. You see everything that she's done. So you think she started being an anchor of a newscast, and now she sells, gosh, almost everything, right? That's pro people, and that's why people are still buying it and they love it, and she just keeps on growing their portfolio. So I agree with him 100%. People first, because remember, you're here to serve others, and those others are your clients, and starting from within you, and then whoever wants opinion, that's another thing. You're gonna start getting opinions, and that's not only as an entrepreneur, but also at your workplace. Oh no, I think you should do this way, or you're doing it the wrong way. Maybe you should do it that way. And no, if you truly feel, okay, you need to, of course, take in consideration if there is something that you might need to still learn, right? But if you start doing what everybody asks you, what are you gonna do? At the end, you have a mess. You're not gonna do anything. So he's right. He's smart. That's why he has what he has right now.
Beautifully put.
Huh?
Beautifully put. I enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. And I invite you to visit my website. It's in Spanish right now because I'm mainly approaching Latin people, because I think that is from my heart that there is a big need. We don't have the governments we have by casualty, right? They're there because we haven't done our job, and I think we can change that. And I want to be part of that change. So, but it's gonna be. You can always translate it with Google, or it's by the end of the year it's gonna be available in English.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You had a question?
I was gonna say that actually entrepreneurs tend to be like someone who come up with their own ideas and something new and innovate or things like that, trying to make like a difference and stand out and everything. So taking that into the college life and scenario, how do you think that actually college or pursuing a degree will help you to the entrepreneur part? Meaning that actually when you come to college, they teach you how to follow patterns, how to do what like the teacher told you to do, and stuff like that. Do you think that actually college motivates and encourages the entrepreneur that you have inside, or somehow it's like you can make it like
No, I get your point. And I think through Doers, a successful Doer, it's a combination of that emotional part and the academic tools that he's been able to gain with life. And going to school is essential. You need to have the tools. Yeah, they teach you here systems, and they teach you theories, and they give you examples, and they give you the theory of a lot of concepts that you might not memorize 100%. But if you take the time, when you come to school, this is a two-way communication, right? So if you are lazy and you just take for granted what the professor said, then you will take the responsibility of the concept of that. You'll assume the consequences of that, and then that is, you're not gonna go much farther. Now, if you take what they give you and you start making smart questions and looking, searching for more and comparing. Okay, so he said tonight, this lady said something about strategic management, and I don't really think that's true. Let me see what is it that others are doing, and read books and stay up to date with articles, see what's happening in the world. You need that, because if you're fully passionate about what you want, but you don't know anything about marketing, anything about finance, anything about management, then A, B, C, or D are gonna come and are gonna fool you, and then you'll find yourself frustrated because you never got what you wanted, but you didn't prepare yourself for it. So coming to school is essential. And now, if you take, let's see the other side of the coin. If you take for granted what they say here, and then you don't take time to work on your personal side, then you will also be screwed, because you need to be mentally, emotionally prepared to either find the right job or to start the right business. Otherwise, if you're missing any of the two, everything in life, it's a combination. Nothing happens overnight. And if you want to lose weight, it's not going to happen because you did a crazy diet that made you lose 10 pounds in 2 days. And then after that, what? You're sick. And then you start eating bad again. And then you gain the double of the weight. So you need to balance it out. And I think that's why I did this presentation tonight. Because I'm talking about that, I wouldn't say it's spiritual, even when we're spiritual beings living an experience in a body, but that's something else. But we are humans with a heart, right? And with this presentation, that's what I want to leave you tonight, that you can connect that part from within you with the tools that you're getting here and the tools that you gain in life as you go through it. But you need to be alert and you need to be smart. If you get tired and you give up, or you just don't pay attention and don't actually take a step ahead, then everything is happening so quickly that you'll be lost in time in a blink of an eye.